You both said today that you love each other, and I believe it. But I'm trying to tell you, love is not enough for a successful marriage. There's so many other things that go in it. It's not just about you anymore.
Here is today's case.
Amanda and Jess met on a dating app 2 years ago. One date at a local bar was all it took for their swiping setup to fast track into a committed relationship. Soon, they were enjoying life in the outdoors of Oregon, spending time with each other and pup Xander. But a recent move down south may have caused things to crumble. Now, Jess admits to cheating. Will this be the end of their once perfect match? Find out today in Divorce Court.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Hinds versus Gregory.
Thank you, Honor. Jessica Hinds.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought Miss Amanda Gregory.
Yes, Your Honor.
To court today. The two of you have been in a relationship for 2 years.
Yes,
You recently relocated. That's
Yes, Your Honor.
caused a number of issues. And you are suing, ma'am, for $2,775, half of moving costs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll start with you, Miss Hinds. Why don't you give me some background?
All right, well, I met Amanda a little over 2 years ago. She was actually the first person I ever met up with through an internet dating app. And the majority of our relationship has been really great until just a few months ago during the pandemic. And once we made this decision to move across country from Oregon to Georgia. Since then, there have been many tensions that have been building up and escalating. And I'm at the point right now where I feel that something either there needs to be some resolution to these tensions, or I'm headed back west.
What do you have to say about that, Ms. Gregory?
I thought we had an agreed upon conversation as adults. We'd made a plan. We settled on Savannah. It was largely my decision. I have family in the area, but I did not twist anyone's arm. And now that the reaction has been so negative, I feel like the rug's been pulled out from under me, and I don't know what to do next.
Is she correct that the relationship has been really good between the two of you up until this move?
Up until a week before the move, we had a great relationship, Your Honor.
What happened a week before the move?
Well, Amanda actually moved before me, a few weeks before she left for Savannah, and she just became very cold and distant in her demeanor towards me. We are used to FaceTiming, and she stopped answering the FaceTime calls. Whenever she would call me back, it wouldn't be through FaceTime, and her excuses as to what she was doing, where she was going, it just seemed so dishonest, and it really... I felt that I had to make a lot of sacrifices to make this move possible. I grew up in the Bible Belt, and so I felt very nervous about moving to the South, being a gay person, you know, especially to a smaller city.
So why did you agree at the end of the conversation? Reluctantly
I felt
agree.
like I was being a very supportive partner in agreeing, because I knew that she really needed to, she really expressed her desire to be near her family.
You said that someone had a one-night stand.
Jess cheated,
That was me.
plain and simple.
That was the night before I moved to Portland. Again, Amanda
I thought you were
had
trying to be the supportive partner. I was not expecting this
because-
from you, Ms. Hinds.
I thought so too.
I wasn't expecting it from myself, but as soon as Amanda arrived in Georgia, as I said, her demeanor completely changed towards me. She
So
was
she stopped answering
neglecting
her
my
phone?
calls. It just didn't feel like I was getting any support in making this move. And so yes, the last night I was in Portland, I think a lot of that stress just accumulated, and
But it's not
I
an
made a
excuse.
mistake, and I do feel guilty. And the very next morning, I called her, and I was absolutely transparent. I felt entirely guilty the next morning. But I was also trying to get some honesty out of Amanda.
Well, how did that make you feel to know that you've moved and you're settling into the new place and she calls you with this information?
Your Honor, I felt horrible. We moved to this new place. I'm there trying to get things set up, build a life for us, get everything in order for Jess's arrival.
Yeah, I had to make
24
so many
hours before I get
sacrifices.
there.
Ma'am, let her finish.
24 hours before I'm supposed to pick her and the dog up from the airport, not even 24, I get the phone call that she cheated. And I was hurt. I felt like I was losing my mind. I felt like I didn't know what to do next, but honestly, I wasn't shocked.
You were not shocked? But this hasn't happened before.
It has not.
Did it make you feel better that she came clean?
An iota better, a tiny little smidgen better, but we have a tracking app on each other's phone. This is something we both have. It allows us to see each other's location. We use it as a safety feature. We need to know where each other are sometimes. When I moved across the country, a week before Jess gets there, I start checking the app late at night, just checking she's safe at home, she's alone in the apartment, and the app is off. And the only way the app is off is if the phone is off.
I feel like I am on a leash, Your Honor.
Well, why were you turning the app off when the two of you, when she left town?
Amanda knows that I'm not very good with my phone. Sometimes I do not charge it on purpose. I get overwhelmed with it.
Miss Hinds, let me tell you something. You turn the app off, you end up doing the thing she suspects you're doing.
I don't turn the app off.
Well, she said you did.
No, it's my phone dying or freezing up.
Her phone died at the
like
exact time that she was rendezvousing with strangers while I'm alone setting up our house in the new city.
Yet when I arrived
She has a great point, ma'am.
Yet, Your Honor, when I arrived to Savannah, I noticed that she had re-downloaded all of the dating apps that were once on her phone.
Well, you called her and told her you hooked up with
didn't.
somebody else. Could you blame her?
I thought we were resolving that.
You thought what?
That we were going to resolve that. She asked me to still
maybe
come
at that
and
moment,
move and get on the plane.
Ma'am, maybe at that moment she did not want to be the bigger person.
Jess is a frivolous spender. I'm over here putting together a serious move, and Jess is getting $10 horchata lattes every morning.
So she wasn't being frugal enough for you.
I needed a bathing suit. I thought, hey, I've been working this pandemic this entire time.
You bought 4?
I bought 2.
Listen, everyone reacts to when they find out that a partner has cheated on them differently. For some people, it's like, okay, if she's out there, maybe I need to be back out there too.
Check my phone today. That's all I'm going to say. Check my phone today. There's nothing on there.
Last night at 3 a.m., I saw that she was furiously texting someone.
So you deleted, anytime somebody comes in court and says, check my phone, you know they wiped the phone clean before they came. Miss Gregory.
I would never.
Check my phone. Miss Gregory was, I saw you in the back wiping your phone clean before I walked out.
Completely honestly, one app got re-downloaded. It was the app we met on, and I want to look back through those early conversations and remember why I am with this person, where the love is, how did this start, where's that fire and that passion we used to have? And I haven't stepped out. That's not, I didn't message anyone.
I do not feel as though she acknowledges the sacrifices I had to make in order to make this move. I told her from the beginning that I was not in a position to move cross country. I've done it before. I know what it takes. She said, that's all right. We'll figure it out. You know,
what sacrifices did you have to make?
I had to give up my job that I loved. I had to sell my vehicle because it was too expensive to ship. And honestly, my vehicle was very sentimental to me. It used to belong to my dad. I had many great adventures in it. So I had to sell that in order to cover some of the moving costs. I had to pay $700 just to be able to get my dog, Xander, to Georgia.
How long have the two of you been in Savannah now?
About a month.
How's it been going so far?
I think we are both under a lot of stress. I know that we still have a lot of love for each other, but I feel very alone here, and I feel like I have tried to accommodate as much as I could financially that she does not agree with.
I don't agree.
I was working the entire time during the pandemic. She was on unemployment, still making over double my income.
How's their relationship been in the last month?
The relationship has been very, very strained. Obviously, starting off this move with the infidelity and thinking about these other issues, money continues to be an issue because Jess is a frivolous spender. Right before we moved to Savannah, Your Honor, I was getting all the arrangements in order, and Jess is on there clicking on all the skimpiest, fanciest bathing suits you ever saw. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate the view in the long run. I'm just saying I'm over here putting together a serious move, trying to set up a stable life for us in Savannah, and Jess is getting $10 horchata lattes every morning.
They're not $10.
With a tip.
So she wasn't being frugal enough for you.
You know, I had not spent any money on myself in over a year, and I knew we were moving to the beach. I needed a bathing suit. I thought, hey, I've been working this pandemic this entire time, full time. I could do something nice for myself.
You bought 4?
I bought 2.
You never wanted to move to Savannah.
No.
And it was a big sacrifice for her to move. She's coming from big cities. You have family there. She doesn't know anyone there. People also can deal with grief when they move away from everything they know. Are you willing to stay in Savannah? If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Miss the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. You're suing for $2,775. What is that for?
Well, that is what I would consider to be Jess's half of the moving costs. I spent a little over $6,000, all things considered, around $6,000 between shipping my car out.
But she sold her truck.
Yeah. She sold her truck, but we both used this car. She was using it looking for jobs and things in Savannah.
But you want her to pay for half of that?
Yes, so $17.50 was to get the car that we both use here. I paid all the rent in the previous place we moved from in August. I paid all the rent to the new place we're living in. I paid the deposit, I paid my pet fee.
But my question to you is this. The two of you are making this move together. Did she agree to pay for any of these expenses?
We have had conversations where she said, we will work this out together. I might not be able to pay everything immediately, but then as soon as we got to Savannah, it's, how dare you expect me to pay that much? You have so much more in savings. And I would like that amount of money. That's what feels fair to me. However, if that amount can't happen, I just want some help. I want some understanding. It's not just the money.
As I understand it, there was nothing specifically discussed about these amounts. Am I correct? This is the math that you've come up with that you believe is fair.
She said that she was going to be able to pay more because I was upfront from the beginning, and I have contributed. I contributed the $700 to get what she considers her dog as well now to Savannah. I paid for my own plane ticket, $300.
How much can you contribute to the move? Because you said
I
you will
already
contribute.
gave her $500 to the move.
Okay, well,
as well as for rent.
Ma'am, please.
Yes,
there
it
is a certain amount you should pay outside of over and above $500 to be fair. I don't think you ever expected to pay just $500, but I don't know that you ever agreed to pay half.
Are you not including the $700 towards our animals getting here, my plane ticket? I mean, that's all.
Well, I'm not including my plane ticket in the 5K, 6K.
Okay, so I'll come to the decision. That's why I'm here. I'll decide how much you're going to pay towards the move. I was trying to allow the two of you to come to an agreement here in court today, but I'll make the decision. The bigger issue is the problem, you never wanted to move to Savannah.
No.
And you did so because you're in this relationship with someone that you love.
Very true.
And you've been together for 2 years now.
Yes, a little over 2 years.
Are you willing to stay in Savannah to see this through?
I feel it's too young to tell, but at the moment, I feel if she is not a little more unrelenting as far as splitting costs, nickel and diming me while she is making such a higher income than me, I feel that is unfair.
Jess, there's opportunities for money making that you don't even think about.
Yes, that I've been doing.
I think it's a different mindset. For instance, we have a dog. Technically, Jess, yes, got the dog as a puppy, raised the dog. I get stopped on the street every day with this dog. During the pandemic, while she was working for 6 months, I'm taking care of the dog, taking him on 3 walks a day. We've bonded so much this past year, closer than we've ever been, and she doesn't think of him as mine. She went behind my back and got this dog neutered when I thought that we could actually have an opportunity to make a little bit of money by breeding puppies. We would get him fixed eventually. We're not out here trying to raise a bunch of stray dogs. However, she didn't even consult me on that. She just went and neutered this dog that I take care of 8 hours a day, 6 months, and she took that option off the table because she doesn't think about money in that way.
Excuse me, Your Honor. That was not even a conversation that needed to be had. I am strongly against breeding dogs. I've volunteered at many pit bull rescues. I know how many end up in kill shelters. That was never even in consideration for me. I had always planned on neutering him as soon as I could. So that I just feel is horrible. And now whenever I am strapped for cash, she will throw that in my face. And it's such a core value to me. I cannot believe that that is even an issue.
two of you are going to have to come to an agreement about the finances in the home. And right now, I know times are very different. She just moved and she's not making as much money. You're making more. So at a time where you're making more, a good compromise would be for now to pay a higher percentage of the living expenses. She just doesn't have as much money as you have. I think that's fair. I think that's something that you should strongly consider doing. And it was a big sacrifice for her to move. She's coming from big cities. She's moving to a small town in the South. You have family there. She doesn't know anyone there. So she has to now, and I hope that you do this, make friends outside of this relationship as well, so you don't feel so lonely and you don't feel so isolated, you don't feel so separated. When we talk about grief, we talk about losing someone, losing a relationship, losing someone close to you, or even a pet. People also can deal with grief when they move away from everything they know. And they move to a place where they feel separation anxiety because they're separated from everything they know. So they're in this foreign place, and I think that's what she's dealing with.
Yes.
She's not getting the warmth that she assumed she was going to be getting, whether it's from the affair or whether it's because the two of you are concerned about money or whatever it is. So the one person she knows, there's now a disconnect. So of course there's going to be a completely different dynamic to this relationship. On your side, you've got to decide whether you're going to forgive and act like you forgot what happened. Because the worst thing you can do is stay in the relationship just to punish her. And just to be angry and just to bring it up when you get mad every chance you get. Because then neither of you will be happy. You should consider the timing of it, instead of focusing on the fact that it happened, perhaps why it happened the night before she left town. She was freaking out. Take that into consideration as the two of you figure out life in Savannah, Georgia. Savannah's a beautiful place.
It is. It's very charming.
Very charming. So I hope you give it some more time. You've had a good foundation.
Yeah.
I think with everything that's happened with this pandemic in the country, it's put a lot of stress on relationships. I like what you said during the case when you said you went back and you got on the app and you were looking at earlier when the two of you met and the connection that you had early on, because that's what you have to think about. Why it started and why the two of you connected and why you are surviving this challenging times, because this is where the two of you get closer. The good times are great, but it's in the tough times that really build the character of the relationship. So you got to be able to work through it. In fairness, I'm going to order you to pay another $1,000 towards the moving expenses. I think it's fair. Pay it over time. Does she have some time?
You have some time.
Pay it over time, but I think that's fair. She doesn't have as much money as you. She cannot pay half right now, but $1,000 in addition to the $500 she's already paid. That's going to be my order. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't feel that the verdict was very unfair. I appreciated that she said that I would be able to pay the $1,000 off over time.
My finances are better off right now. For just to pay me $1,000 makes me feel a lot more calm about this move and our future together.
I do need to work towards regaining her trust. I feel that deep down Amanda knows that I was absolutely out of character, and I hope that she can just begin to understand.
I think the only way to move forward after the one-night stand is to really work on rebuilding trust, and that means putting some of these external factors aside. I just think there's too much in the way right now, messing it up, and if we can get back to what's good, then we'll be all right.